Going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today during this insane bloodbath across the crypto markets. Now, if you are a long-term hodler and you are looking to DCA, this is a hodler's dream to have these prices. Again, we had Ethereum pushing up to 2,000. We had Bitcoin pushing up to 58K. We had Polkadot over $40. Now, Cardano is even down 7% today, so no one is safe from the bloodbath today. However, the question is, where will the bottom be? Is there going to be a bottom, and where can we look for that reversal? Now, I had a video that I put out 2 days ago, and it was an emergency massive Bitcoin warning video, and of course, some people didn't want to hear that the Bitcoin price could potentially go lower. And yes, in yesterday's video, I was explaining bullish fundamentals, which I'm going to go into today, because let me tell you guys, when this thing hits these levels that we are eyeballing, you are talking about a massive bounce back. You know, like what happens when you hold a beach ball underwater and you let go and it just skyrockets. That's what's happening right now. We are eventually going to hit that bottom, and you don't want to miss it. So if you're looking to short Bitcoin, you might be able to get a trade in, but I am telling you, be careful, because this thing has some insanely bullish fundamentals and data that I'm going to show you why Bitcoin is looking for a massive reversal, potentially then blasting past $60,000, maybe even all the way to $75,000. I'm going to show you once again my exact target, and we are going to hop right into the video today, guys. We're going to get right to the video. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, consider it. And although March has been a historically red month for Bitcoin, the biggest question is, will it also happen this time around? So let's dive in. Let's have a look at what is happening. Now, you can see down here the last time that Bitcoin had this peak around $42,000, we did have that 30% pullback, which is to be expected in a bull market. I can't stress enough how normal and healthy and common 25, 30, 35% pullbacks are. But if you're new, it might be a little bit of a scare, right? There is a lot of FUD. By the way, people who don't know what FUD is, it stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you can see right here, we did have a bit of a not a falling wedge. We had a descending triangle right here, which is, you know, technically textbook bearish, but we broke out to the upside. Now, we don't have enough confirmation. All we have is a top and a bottom retest, but we could potentially be looking to put something in very similar again. However, is there a chance that we could actually break down to the bottom to some of these lower levels? Well, we do have to look right here at the fact that we actually we're going to close a green monthly candle, which is good, but we do have a very tall wick at the top. So some people, consider this type of a top on a market for the monthly to be the signal for the top, as in that's it, we're going down now. You can see we had one of these types of candles back here in 2017. We also had one when we pumped to 14,000 in June of 2019. But if we actually have a look right here, January had technically somewhat of a bearish looking candle, right? A lot of selling pressure. And then lo and behold, even though we had a very similar type of candle, we still closed substantially higher. We closed January at 32,009, and we're going to close this month, give or take whatever happens in the next few hours, around the $45,000 level. So on the monthly chart, we are still putting in multiple green candles. Now you can see that we have lost our trend right here. We've fallen below it. We actually had this support become resistance. So, support becoming resistance is not exactly bullish, which is why I am expecting this retest to the previous high right here at around 42,126. Now, it's very possible that we could just straight up bounce from there. And I do consider that to be the sort of mid level of accumulation where I do believe we will have a bounce, unless you're using super high leverage. But if we do fall below that, there is that potential chance that we come down here and we refill this box. And this is the level that I drew more on this chart, but if we even just go back to just the thumbnail, I don't know if you guys can see in this picture, I don't know if you can see that, but this is the chart we were looking at, and I was explaining that this level could still be our bounce target, right? So coming back to this chart, yes, we did have our whale bubble here. We are having our retest at the critical 40, that 43, 42K. But like I said, we have a very strong possibility of coming down here and filling this box. Now, I want to point out the fact that we could be, you could look at this as a falling wedge, which, would break to the upside, right? Especially that we are in an uptrend. But I also want to point out that we've had this extreme selling, and you can see that the curve is starting to flatten a little bit like this, right? So we are looking for a recovery, but I would not rule out that quick dip down into this area, maybe just to liquidate those, longs one more time, shake out the markets once more before having that massive V-shaped rebound. Now, having a look at these levels over here on BLX, you can see that also, and keep in mind this is 1 day behind, but you can see that we did have that bounce right here and right here. But currently, at the time of making this video, we are lower. So if we look at the next level of support, we are looking at this level right here, where you can see we had some resistance, then we had some support, and assuming we don't fall straight down, we come down here a little bit sideways, look, that puts us right in the $40,000 region. If you want to look at a different chart, the last time we fell below the 21 exponential, which is this green line, we found support on the 50-day moving average right here, which is the yellow line. Well, the yellow line today is sitting at around $41,000, between that $40,000 and $42,000 range. If you want to look at Fibonacci retracement, okay? You can see we had a beautiful retest of the 0.5. Will the 0.5 hold? Well, the 0.618 is usually the level that we look for, right? That is usually the level where in a bull trend, Bitcoin tends to bounce. And if you look at that level is 40,125. So are you seeing a bit of a theme here, guys, okay? We have the level down here below the whale bubble. We have the level here on the spider lines. We have the level here on our 50-day moving average. We have the exact same level here on our Fibonacci retracement, okay? I cannot stress enough to you the significance of this level. I am expecting a massive bounce, and this could be the buying opportunity, the dip opportunity. I would not personally, not financial advice, be sitting on the sideline waiting for a dip lower than that. You might be blessed with a $39,000 Bitcoin. Maybe it'll wick there for an hour or so, but I'm telling you guys, like the beach ball analogy in the beginning, we are going to have that massive blast off. Now, something very interesting about the CME charts is that we closed at 45,000. So we're actually lower than this today. So it would be interesting to see if the CMEs open and continue to sell down to those levels, or if we do actually pump up to fill that gap and then continue upwards. Like I said, there was a good chance that this could be the dip, but I just want to be careful, and there is that possibility of going lower. Now, like Blackbeard pointed out, he says, I'm definitely not excited about these types of days or weeks in Bitcoin. These corrections are simply part of the market. And we've all seen, the multiple 40%, 38, 35, 41, 40, 31, all the way up to the high in 2017. And you could see even along this little rally, we've had a 22, a 32, and a 25. So maybe these corrections aren't getting as severe, but they are still to be expected in these trends. And like my buddy over at Rect Capital pointed out, in 2017, we had the average Bitcoin bull market correction taking about 19 days. So the most recent pullback has been going for only about 7. While corrections tend to last weeks, they are very short in the grander scheme. But while they're happening, that can seem like the longest 2 weeks of your life, right? Just sitting there and just watching the price go lower and lower, and you're saying, what am I doing? I can't believe I bought at these levels. Should I be selling? Is it going to go any lower? If you're new to crypto, you're going to get used to this. This happens all the time. Everyone asking me, a lot of friends that recently bought, they're freaking out, and they're surprised as to how calm I am. I'm like, guys, I've lived through like 15 of these different pullbacks with, multiple year bear markets. Trust me, you'll get there. Do I look worried? I'm not worried. But what I am trying to do is figure out where that dip could be. Now, obviously, timing the dip, getting the absolute bottom, no one's going to do that unless you're super lucky, right? We can only try to guess where that bottom could be. Now, Willy Woo, he actually mentioned UTXO realized price distribution. This is on-chain. He says this is a more precise version of volume profile. He says the peaks represent the price where most coins changed hands. So he's looking at around 45,000 and upwards being very strong support. $46,500, now that was our whale bubble level, right? He says any dip if you're lucky, into 39K is a no-brainer. Now, so we're looking at the level between 40 to 42. That's where we're looking at this support. But you know we're going to get a scam wick or two. There's going to be that ultimate fear. It's going to happen either while you're sleeping overnight. You're going to get, you're going to wake up and be like, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 39,000. And then I do believe we're going to blast off. Now, let's talk about what's happening right now with Bitcoin's realized price. So this represents the average price at which every Bitcoin was last moved. They say it's often interpreted as the average Bitcoin buy price. Well, while Bitcoin may not be at an all-time high with its actual value, we have realized price, according to Glassnode, just hit an all-time high of about $14,868. The previous all-time high was February 27th, right? Which was just a few days ago, so it's not whatever. But essentially what this means is that a lot of people that actually have bought Bitcoin are in profit, right? So there might be that sort of that urge to want to sell, right? Because they're like, well, I'm still in profit. The price looks like it's falling, so I want to try to protect as much of my funds as possible, right? And you might see some of that panic selling from some of the newer investors, right? But the thing that we need to talk about, probably the most glaring, obvious, bullish indicator that Glassnode pointed out was the daily Bitcoin, and I spoke about this, but I'm saying it again because I want to drill how important this is, the spent output profit ratio. It has seen a full reset and turned negative for the first time in 5 months. They say investors were on average moving Bitcoin at a slight loss, indicating profit taking has abated, right? We are at the end. Now is not the time to be putting in your ultimate shorts. If you wanted, you could have speculated. Now is the time to catch the bottom. There will be a bottom. And once it happens and we move on, we're going to be looking back at this week and everyone's going to be like, man, I can't believe I didn't buy more Bitcoin. That's how it always is. It's like that every single time. The world is ending during the dip. 2 weeks later, we're back at 60K, heading up to 75K, and everyone forgets about it. Just like the dip that we had when we, hit 42 and went down to 28. Thought the world was ending then. Look where we are now. We're still sitting higher. We're still sitting higher than before we even took that dip. Think about it. You got to zoom out. You got to look at this long-term chart. Like Philip Swift mentioned, the spent output profit ratio has now reset green on the chart, meaning that wallets selling are now selling at a loss. This is a strong buy the dip signal in a bull market. This alongside, and this is even probably more important, derivatives fundings have actually been reset as well. We knew they were getting overheated. We knew that, it was just getting out of control, and we have had that reset. So this is why I am bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm definitely accumulating at these levels, and I'm most certainly buying these dips because you may not get the levels that you're looking for, right? So they also mentioned the fact that we have had negative values on the chart as far as hodlers cashing out. When you're looking at hodl or net position, but the amount of illiquid Bitcoin supply on the network has grown more than the circulating supply since 2017 by a significant margin. So when coupled with the high demand from institutions over the past months, the shortage is going to work in favor of Bitcoin's price. So let the miners sell. It doesn't matter. In fact, if we actually have a look over here, miners outflows, that's negative. Miners to exchange flows, that's negative. But like Ki Jung pointed out, it's a whale war, and you know who has the real power. U.S. institutional investors, Coinbase outflows, strong buy. Coinbase premium, buy. Bitcoin whale reserves, buy. Stablecoin inflow transactions, buy. So let these miners sell. Let them try to manipulate it. Trust me, the big players know where that support is. We had, first of all, think about just the fact that we've had Michael Saylor buying above these levels, right? We've had Tesla. Now, Tesla, they did get a pretty good deal at around 33K. I'm not going to lie. But, that being said, there is that support. And I just want to end on this. Today's video, I just wanted to get straight to the point. Lots of panic across the streets. I showed you guys, my bearish predictions of where we would go, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bear. I'm a Bitcoin bull. I'm just looking to get in at the best area. And as you can see, like Crypto Ty pointed out, he said, basically enjoy your weekend, folks. Relax, okay? If you look right here, you can see 2017 to 2018 had two very similar crashes to what we're having right now. And if you look at the target, compared to where we were then, look at where we are now. Bitcoin is still on track for $100,000, $200,000. If you're selling this dip, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. that's one of the biggest problems that traders have is, first you have the problem of holding for too long, which we'll talk about that when I think the market's too overheated, but taking profits too early, that could also be something that you end up kicking yourself down the road as well. But look, I'm not going to tell you to not take profits. That's irresponsible. If you're in the green and you bought Bitcoin before these levels and you're worried and you want to take profits, take some profits. But I'm telling you that this bull run is not over yet. We have about 6 to 8 months left of gas ready to go, and this thing is going to the moon. And I'm telling you, it's the same way that Bitcoin has a tendency to dip harder, or dip even longer than you would expect. It also has a tendency to pump even higher and go to crazier levels than you expect. And if you think that $58,000 is the top of the bull run, well, I don't know what to tell you, my friends, but we are going much higher. Play this video. Start from the beginning, watch everything I just said over again. If you want to look at the bearish targets, watch my video from 2 days ago. But guys, I'm telling you that we're about halfway into this, potential rebound. And if we dip down to these levels, we're going to have the beach ball effect. It's going to be a massive, massive bounce. And lots of people are going to be left on the sideline wondering why they did not jump into the opportunity to buy during these cheap prices. These pullbacks are a gift. And I'm not going to stress buy the dip, but you guys know how I feel. And I am buying the dip, so I do put my money where my mouth is. That being said, guys, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I wanted to make this video just to kind of lots of fear about what's going on right now. This is healthy. This is normal. It's good for Bitcoin. Trust me. You want to have these corrections. You want to have these retests. We're continuing the uptrend, okay? We're putting in higher highs. We're putting in higher lows on the macro. The weekly looks good. The monthly looks good. The daily, not so good, okay? Zoom out, look at the bigger picture. That being said, my name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, whoa, that is me, CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.